In this project we will be building your first website. This is going to be a fairly simple website. We will be only using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. We will not be using any third-party framework or libraries, and we'll try to make this website a mobile responsive website. And the idea of this project is to give you a general understanding of these three languages: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Once you go into the world of production and creating websites live, then you will be using a lot of third-party tools. But before we get into that, I want to just make sure that you guys can build a simple website using just three languages. And to follow along with this tutorial, you just need a text editor and a browser. You can use any text editor that you like, Sublime Text or Notepad++ or Atom or VS Code. I'll be using Sublime Text. Alright, now let's see what kind of a website we're going to be building. So here's a sort of a layout of what we're going to be building. So this website will have it's a one-page website with a few sections on it. We will build each sections in a different video. I'll try to make each of these sections less than 10 minutes so you can follow along without much difficulty. So on the top we are going to have a logo and a menu bar with some menu items. That's the header, and followed by that we're going to have a hero section with a big image and some text. Then we will have a simple about us text section. Followed by that we'll have some services section with a few cards. And followed by that we'll have a frequently asked questions section, which is going to be a little more complicated. We will use some JavaScript. We will build it like an accordion, when you so it's a little more interactive. You have to click to see something, something like that. And then finally we are going to have a footer. And this is the structure. So let's not waste further time and get started. So I'm gonna open a new folder and get started by creating our folders. Created the spelling mistake, first website. All right, inside that we're going to create two more new folders. The first one is for CSS and second one is for the images for this project. All right, we have created that. Now let's open the editor. I'm going to open my Sublime editor and then drag this folder into that. Perfect. Now you can see that I have created these three folders. Let's start by creating the index file. So I'm gonna save it as index.html. We have created the index file. Now let's create the CSS file. I'm gonna save it as styles. Perfect. Now we have the basic structure ready for this project. Let's get into coding. Let's start by typing the basic boilerplate code for index.html. We start with doc type. This is basically telling that this is an HTML file. Then we open the HTML. Okay, we got a few things here. Let's just close it. So we've got the doc type, which basically says it's HTML. We have opened and closed the HTML tag. We have opened and closed the head tag and the body tag. I'll put some spacing so I can explain things here. Perfect. These are straightforward things, nothing complicated. So in the HTML tag I'm going to mention the language. This is generally important. So you can, if it is sorry, not Arabic, it should be English. If it is an Arabic website, you can mention there it as Arabic. And then we have got the head. Inside the head we will have two more titles, which is the first one basically we say the encoding. So we say the meta character set, which is UTF-8. Our character set that we encoding that we are going to use is UTF-8. And then we have the viewport, basically for the responsiveness of the meta viewport viewport, and content is equal to width is equal to device width. Perfect. And then we'll put an initial scale and I close it. So this basically helps in the responsiveness of the website. So both of these lines you have to include in your project. Meta character set is UTF-8 and meta content is equal to Device, yeah, there's a small spelling mistake, let me just go fix it. Width is equal to device width, initial scale is equal to 1. Alright, these two are important. Then here's a title which we already got, and then we also have to put a meta description. These two things basically give some information about the website. So our title, I'm going to be mentioning that as Southern Dental Clinic, and in the description you can write a small like a paragraph about the hospital. This is a good dental clinic. So these two things are really important for the SEO purposes. For now we'll just put this information there and leave it like that, and then we are going to link the style sheet that we created earlier. So we have put it inside the CSS folder. We have the file named styles. Perfect. So this way all these things are done. So we have connected this style sheet, and we have a header section which is nice, and then we have a body section inside which we will be actually putting the content. Perfect. Let's go create some boilerplate styles for this one, CSS. So I normally would like to have a few things in place for my CSS code. The first thing is, generally I'm gonna open with HTML, and then I will make the font size is equal to 100%. So 100% mean 100% of the browser font size, which is generally about 16 pixel. Then I keep my box sizing as border box. So this basically tells the browser that if I ever mention a height and a width, that will basically include the padding and the margin. In simple words, it helps us in giving a height and width without a lot of mess. And the next thing I want to do is that I want to inherit this to all the child elements, all the newer elements that is going to come. So I'm going to select star, which basically means all elements, and then I'm going to select star and a pseudo class of before and a pseudo class of after. These two pseudo classes are beyond the scope of this project, so for now just put it there. So box sizing is equal to border box. Perfect. And then I'm going to mention margin and padding. I'll tell you what this is. Okay, alright. So I'll quickly show you an example, right? I'm gonna write an h1 here saying this is h1. Okay, alright, and then I'm gonna put a paragraph saying this is a paragraph. Okay, I'm gonna remove this, so that there is no styling initially. Okay, I'm gonna open this in a browser. Sorry, let's go here and open this in the browser. See, as you can see, we did not write any special styles, but HTML normally gives some sort of spacing and margin for its elements. As you can see on the heading, you have a little bit of space on the top, little bit of space on the bottom, same with paragraph. So this is a problem for me. You know why? Because I don't have full control of the spacing around this. So when I start a project, I generally like to reset it to 0. So that is what we have done here with this coding. So I'm gonna save this coding, and then I'm gonna refresh to show you the difference. See, when I refreshed, I lost all the margin and the padding. This is perfect for me because now I can control the margin and the padding as I like. So this is the boilerplate section for the CSS code. Let's put some comments here. So here I'll write general CSS. So in every project there will be some general CSS that is not related to any particular element, and then we're going to have other CSS which would be particularly for certain sections. Alright, now we have the general HTML CSS ready. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, and if you would like to follow along this tutorial, please subscribe the channel. I'll be uploading the chapters one by one pretty soon. And as you know, this is a YouTube video, which basically means if I have to do any correction, I can't. So for every video and every website, I'll be following up that with a blog where you can find all the codes and all the suggestions that I make and corrections in the future if there are any. So I'll put all these descriptions in the footer. So if you are at any point of time in doubt, you can just go to the description of this video and then find that blog, and you will find all the content over there. Thank you.